It looks distinctly wet.
lows.
What was the weather like? Did it tend to be wet?
Well, we often had a lot of mist and rain, but there were one or two beautiful days, and Scotland in the mist is very typical of Scotland, isn't it?
Can you remember the time of year you went, sort of thing, or not?
Yes, we used to go either the last week in August or the first week in September, because that seemed to be about...
It's obviously misty there, isn't it?
Yes, and and really it was so beautiful though, that the mountains coming out of the mist and disappearing, and the general atmosphere, especially if you lived in and near an industrial town like we did. To get to Scotland was unbelievable.
Can you remember what sort of size the Killarney was? I mean, that's you would
Well,
imagine
I
recognise
should say
it
to
too.
be about 3,000 tonne, would it be?
And how many passengers do you think?
And it took about, I shouldn't think more than 100 or 150.
And how many crew?
Oh, I never knew about the crew.
Didn't you chat any of the sailors up then?
Oh yes, we did. There were some very nice ones, but we never counted them. You know? Here they're lowering the boat to go ashore, because every day we'd sail into some beautiful loch or little island, and heave to for the night, and we'd go ashore. Here it's very rough.
That's Fred, Doris, yourself.
Yes, Fred, my brother Fred, there with the rug. Doris and Mabel, the tallest of them.
Yes.
And me in the white coat.
There's the four of you again.
That's Doris, Mabel, me and Fred, our family. I had another brother, but he was killed as a boy of 11 on the roads.
Oh, there's Grandpa
and there's Grandpa John Halliwell and Annie Halliwell, my father-in-law and mother-in-law.
There you are. I wonder what book you were reading. Can you remember what book you were reading?
Studious as ever.
You wouldn't be studying, no, would you? You'd be reading.
No, I was reading, I think it was a novel by Maurice Walsh about...
What, from the library on the ship, probably?
Yes, possibly, because it was all about the Highlands, and I'd really gone overboard for the Highlands, because possibly with a name like Morton, we're probably descended from the Scots. In fact, Morton is a subsidiary clan of the Douglas clan. There we're playing shuffleboard.
This bit's the only bit where the colours actually survived, funnily enough. It survived really quite well.
It weren't too bad. This is shuffleboard. And there's Daddy and I, but...
Yes. It's not a bad shot of par,
yes.
But it's amazing. He was 35, 36 then.
Yes, he was. There's my father, who was an expert golfer and won lots of prizes in golf. I've got a cup now that I'll give you someday.
I don't know where that would be. It's difficult to tell.
No.
Really. Father's put some titles with the latest
I have a list of the passengers and where we went.
You haven't, have you?
If I find it, I'll send it to you, Tom.
Have that. It'd be rather interesting.
Yes, it would really. And this is a lovely...
I'm playing this bit backwards again now. It's a nice little shot because it's all in colour still.
Daddy, when he took these, he used to run them backwards. We'd all fall about laughing because films were unusual in those days.
Well, there weren't many amateur
no, there weren't. And Daddy went into it for a big way because he used to run films for the parish, you know, Charlie Chaplin's Ancients. And there's one.
How old your father would be then?
Well, he died when he was 70.
Do you know what year he was born?
No, I don't actually.
No. Well, what year did he die then?
He died,
that time.
Oh, he actually saw one grandchild.
He saw Lona or something, didn't he?
When she was one, she ran round the dining room table. I took her
Non's
to
born in
Wigan.
43, isn't she?
I took her to Lismore.
I think. or 42.
And my father then was very ill, but he saw
Now,
no.
was that your mother?
Take
then?
her first steps.
Coming along.
And she
then?
ran round the dining room table.
Quite a
That
good
one
sea
year
running
old.
on that day too, isn't there?
Oh yes, there were wonderful seas. By
Oh, well,
Loch
Grandpa's
Nevis.
titled it now, so we know where we're going. Loch
Yeah.
Morra, to the Western
Yes, well,
Isles.
my father must have.
I
It
reckon-
takes 70 from 1941.
Well, 70 from 1941 is about 1870, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it must have been about then.
It's quite surprising, isn't it? You don't realise.
That's 100 years ago, you know. I don't know, I think you've got that wrong somewhere. Oh, there we are, there's that's me.
Well, no, if he died at 70 and he died in 1941, he only did 40 years in this century, he must have done another 30 in the last one.
Yes, you're right. That was arithmetic, yes, of course it was.
Now, what did you say you three were called?
The Three Graces.
It's a strange title, isn't it?
Oh,
Is that your mum in the bottom there?
yes, that was my mother.
She
was
looks
rather,
jolly.
She was very jolly, and she was rather a big woman, you know, and she got a bit starter, but she was tall. It was a lovely place, Gairloch on Loch Imber. Isn't that a charming composition with the bridge and the curve of the
Photography
mountains?
is very good. These, in fact, have all faded into a sort of nostalgic sepia, in fact.
And I think there was a little wash basin, and I think they had bunks one above the other actually. Oh, it was lovely. It was real sailing, you know. It wasn't sort of dancing
What about the food on
every
board?
night. Oh, it was quite good. I quite enjoyed
I suppose lots
the
of fresh
food.
fish, I suppose, probably.
Yes, and we were all very hungry, and in those days when we always had
You
soup,
can't
fish and
remember
things.
what the fare was, can you?
Yes, I think it was £13 a head.
See, look, that's a nice shot of her, isn't it? Look.
Oh, that's lovely. It was a white. Oh, it was really
Honestly,
a beautiful.
£13 a head. Do you think that was the figure?
Yeah.
It seems unimaginable, doesn't it? I know. 13
And
pounds a
father
head.
took us all, and it was considered a very, you know, it wasn't considered a cheap holiday at all. No.
6 of you.
I mean, we were 6, you see.
6, that was £100,
Five,
I suppose.
5, because my young brother, you know, died. But 5 of us, it might have been more for their cabins. We just strode off as far as we could get into the
I think Grandpa
hills.
was about the only one taking Sydney in those days, wasn't he?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I remember this one, you're shooting
Actually,
in the
we all
Highlands.
pretended we were.
Dear.
Oh, it's quite daft. Doris saying, "Come in,
Do come in. Do come in and have a cup of tea.
There's me. Oh, it was silly. We did daft things. in
Who's
those
that?
days.
Just,
Oh, that's,
that's Fred, but I just
that's
wondered
Fred.
who it was.
Oh, that was
leaning
a
out the
friend of
window.
my brother's.
Was it?
Yes. He's awfully nice, Charlie Sandham, and he came with a cousin of his too, so we're a party of about 12 or more.
Road to the Isles.
Oh, we used to sing Road to the Isles as we walked along.
Early morning, happy to Stornoway. You said earlier that you moored up overnight in port. You never sailed overnight.
Oh no, we never set. Except the first night coming up from Liverpool to that rock that sticks out. What's it called?
Tusker Rock, was it?
Yes, it's some rock that is the first sign of Scotland, Scottish water. Ailsa Craig, I think.
Oh,
was
Ailsa
it.
Craig, yes, I know.
And it used to be very rough, and lots of people were ill in bed going up to Ailsa Craig. But after that, it was beautifully calm, except for a little swell, you see. And at night, to sleep in these wonderful locks with the mountains all round, and absolutely...
Do you remember what your cabins were like? Were they very tiny? Would you have a porthole?
Oh, they were very seaman-like. They weren't
Yes.
the luxury things today, you know, wooden bunks and a round porthole, and I think there was a little wash basin. And I think they had bunks one above the other, actually. Oh, it was lovely. It was real sailing, you know. It wasn't sort of
What about the
dancing
food on
every
board?
night. Oh, it was quite good. I quite
I
enjoyed
suppose lots
the
of fresh
food.
fish, I suppose, probably.
Yes, and we were all very hungry. And in those days when we always had
You
soup,
can't
fish and
remember
things.
what the fare was, can you?
Yes, I think it was £13 a head.
See, look, that's a nice shot of her, isn't it? Look.
Oh, that's lovely. It was a white. Oh, it was really
Honestly,
a beautiful.
£13 a head. Do you think that was the figure?
Yeah.
It seems unimaginable, doesn't it? I know. £13.
And father took us all, and it was considered a very, you know, it wasn't considered a cheap holiday. But 5 of us, it might have been more.
Now, who's that in the middle with you there?
Oh, that's cousin Edna.
What happened to her?
She died there,
Ah.
rather sadly, I'm afraid.
It's
And
your lighthouse.
she never
keepers,
married.
didn't she?
No, that was a lighthouse. We all went up the top. Now that's
a real old
typical.
croft, isn't it?
That is almost classic.
Look at that. I mean, look at those
picture.
Highland cattle
Now
there.
look, that's how they drove them. We were, I think, on Skye or
Probably just had the house
Stoneway.
cow.
You
Do it
don't
on
see
Skye,
them like
do?
that. We went to Skye, yes.
This,
And
I think, is
those-
amazing, the fisherwoman.
Watch their hands. They
Yes.
go at the speed of light. And how they could do this job from morning to night. Their hands and arms were red with blood.
Were they
And
really?
the smell of them doing it. And we all stood there and watched them. And I felt terribly sorry that anyone had to do that for a living in that cold climate.
Girl.
Oh yes, I had a little chat with that little
She
girl.
little
She was
local girl.
sweet.
I expect the arrival of the ship was quite an event, probably, wasn't it?
Oh yes, all the town came out.
It didn't take mail or anything, did it, round on its journey to the islands or anything?
I don't know, it might have done.
You've
No,
got
I
quite
shouldn't
a-
think so.
Look at the send-off you're getting now.
Oh yes, look at them. Oh, the whole
Amazing.
town came
Yeah.
out. This must have been Stornoway because we actually were able to sail the boat right up to the harbour side where normally we landed
Yes,
in
you
little
could moor
boats.
right alongside
There we
there.
could moor. It's Stornoway, that. Tremendous fishing centre in those days. We also went to a barn.
By
Yes,
Port Treaty
Kyle
Kyle
and
and then to
Tobermory.
Tobermory. I see you are being tugged in again.
Nice off we go. It's great fun going
That's
ashore.
rather elegant little private yacht, wasn't it?
Well, it was. And afterwards they also did garden cruises, which were very nice, calling at Scottish Gardens.
What became of the ship? Was it
It
destroyed
was sunk in the war, yes,
Was
it went down the war.
Did it?
I
What
have
was
a
it used to-
penknife from the Killarney with a little
Oh,
picture of
I
it
didn't
on
know
mother of
that.
pearl.
It was preserved there.
Yes, I must. I'm wondering where I've left it now. I must say with the Carmarthen, this.
Well, it's such a lovely record, this, that
Oh, it was
if you
lovely.
have any,
Killarney,
you know,
and everybody.
contemporaneous ephemera, as they
Yes,
call
I
it,
have.
you know,
Because I'm terrible, as you know. I never throw
it's
anything
grandpa
away.
striding around.
He wore a ridiculous beret.
Yes, it's a big
And
quake,
Tom
wasn't
used
it?
to wear a beret, and I just hated him wearing that beret. I think that.
That's the two mums by the look of it, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. They were great
Do you remember
friends.
this cricket match?
Yes, I think Daddy took part
I think
in
Daddy
it.
probably did. Didn't
Yes, he did, because the men did on the boat.
That looked like Grandpa Bowling, to be truthful, now.
Well, both Grandpa and
Yes.
Daddy were great cricketers, you know. Daddy played the Archbishop of Wales at Cambridge in cricket.
Did he?
Daddy was at Cambridge, and I think the Archbishop probably Oxford or somewhere, and they had a
That looks
cricket
like
match
the two grandpas being left behind there.
when he was at Riddler Hall, you know. This is
Staff.
Stafford, you see.
Singles Cave.
That's why we came over on
Almost nobody
local boat.
gets off now, I gather, at Fingal's Cave. It's very difficult to get someone to get
Why?
to there.
Oh yes, we walked down here into it.
Carnival night.
Now we've all dressed up.
This would be the last night, was it?
Yes, we've put our evening dress on.
Put your best togs on. It's Fred in. I was running down at this point because it suddenly started speeding up, so
There's Mother and Father.
both
The
of
end.
very jolly. Well, I think we go on to the following one now.
Oh, not the
I'm not
fancy
quite
dress.
sure whether
I
that was
don't
the...
know which came first, do you?
No.